I'm gonna hit to verify that they are not gonna come any close to obviously triggering the buyback clause of Alvaro Carreras. You know that very well. And we are also here to see to it that we bring you the latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned in here onto this beautiful channel of ours. So guys, continue to see to it that all goes on well as planned, and you will obviously let us know of what you think. Then lastly, we obviously gonna be talking about a little bit of a story concerning who else. So we're obviously gonna be talking about Enzo Maresca having something to say about his player known as Noni Madueke, who has chosen to really leave Chelsea to go ahead and really play for the side of Arsenal. So hope we are really at the same stage and we are really getting in there. So guys, where should we start from? Arsenal book Noni Madueke medical, right? I think that's what you need us to discuss about. But endeavor to subscribe. Remember, I told you that I'm obviously going to be coming live to obviously let you know about what we had planned for you today. Arsenal and Chelsea have now completed documents exchange for Noni Madueke deal. Agreement sealed. Madueke will undergo his medical over the weekend and then sign a 5-year deal at Arsenal. £52 million deal done as exclusive revealed yesterday. So it's really one of those moments that you have to look at and really ask, what does it take for Arsenal to get these signings early enough? Remember, Arsenal have gone ahead to show us that they can really get the deal of these players done and dusted. I think the only deal that went ahead to obviously take them long, I think, was that of Zubimendi, and I think it was all about it delayed because the team known as because the team known as Real Sociedad wanted the deal known to happen immediately there. You understand? But the other deals have gone ahead to come in through thick and fast. For example, the deal of Kepa Arrizabalaga, it never took even 2 weeks. You know that. The deal of a player known as Nogard, it never took 2 weeks to really get it done. The deal of Noni Madueke has not taken 2 weeks. Last week, Arsenal made advanced talks. They agreed personal terms with Noni Madueke, and now Madueke is a player for the club of Arsenal. You understand? Then, I think Kepa, Noni Madueke, and Nogard have been deals that have gone ahead to be sorted immediately. You understand? So, as it stands, right? As it stands, we really think that a lot is obviously gonna be happening. And what's that a lot that's gonna be happening? The club of Arsenal is gonna be doing the medical of Noni Madueke, and we are still waiting to see where it's obviously gonna be carried from. Is it in the USA where he is right now with the team of Chelsea, planning to play their big game or the final of the Club World Cup on Sunday? Or he's obviously going to be flying back to London to undergo that medical? That's the huge question. Is he going to be playing the final or not? Because he might play the final and maybe injure himself, and he fails to join Arsenal. So what is the best move for Noni Madueke in there? But when the medical is done for Noni Madueke, he will be unveiled as another signing for the club of Arsenal this summer transfer window, taking it to, is it 5-4? Kepa, Zubimendi, Nogard. If you add in another player known as Noni Madueke, those will be 4 signings, and Arsenal will be still having a Jokeres deal on the ladder. They are still having a Masquera Mosquera deal on the ladder too. And then they also have a deal of either Ebelechi, Eze, or Rodrigo. You understand? So Arsenal is really gonna be having a very, 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 very long day to go. You understand? Arsenal is really going to be having a very long summer transfer window. And good enough, they've done 4 of those signings before even July comes to its mid. Meaning that by the time July comes to an end, Arsenal would have gone ahead to obviously add in more and more signings. And I know they want to know about Gyökeres, but I've just gone ahead to really do recordings. I think I've gone ahead to do 3 recordings of Victor Gyökeres, you know? So I've explained all the narratives and all the possible situations that are really hinging that deal to obviously come to pass if you've been following up onto this beautiful YouTube channel of ours. 3 stories of Victor Gyökeres have been dropped by me today, and hope you people find a lot of gist in them. So, Noni Madueke to Arsenal is one of those deals that very many Arsenal fans have obviously gone ahead to say, we don't like that player, he shouldn't be coming in through. And I've gone ahead to see a certain analyst saying that Arsenal buying Noni Madueke for £52 million will obviously send a message to Sporting Lisbon that they have to pay the so-called 80 million euros, because 52 million pounds is like 52 million pounds is like 60 million euros, you know, meaning that that's 20 million euros less, you know, to really top up to 80 million euros. And Sporting Lisbon will be like, if you're gonna hate to pay 60 million euros for Noni Madueke, you want to pay the same amount of money for a player who is gonna hate to obviously score those very many goals in a league. You understand? So when I looked through it, I thought that Madueke and Victor Gyökeres are 2 different players altogether. First and foremost, Madueke has been playing in the Premier League, and if you know the coefficient of every goal that is scored in the Premier League, it's nowhere near the coefficient of goals scored in Portugal, because in Portugal, I think it's always they multiply by those in the Premier League. I think they multiplied by 2. You know, the goals you score in Portugal, I think they multiplied by, is it by 1.2? You understand? So there is a very huge gap, you know, meaning that 1 goal you score in the Premier League is equivalent to 3 goals that Gyökeres scores in the Portuguese league. You understand? So, secondly, the age. Madueke is 23 and Victor Gyökeres is 27. Thirdly, Madueke is an English player. I tell you, if Victor Gyökeres was playing in the Premier League and he went ahead to score 40 goals in a season, do you know what would have gone ahead to happen? Victor Gyökeres would have gone ahead to have a price tag of £100 million plus. That is 120 million euros. As you saw, Newcastle put a price on Alexander Isak of 150 million euros. And when they qualified for the Champions League, they came out and said they can only let him go if at all let him comes in through and pays 200 million pounds. You understand? So that's how heavy the Premier League is. And when you look at the Premier League right now, they even have a record of spending much than any other top 5 leagues in Europe, I think for the last 5 consecutive years. You know, we've gone ahead to see teams sign players for 100 million pounds. That has gone ahead to see Liverpool bring in this player known as Florian Wirtz. You understand? We saw Enzo Fernandez coming in from Benfica for 120 million euros. We saw Arsenal paying 105 million pounds for a player known as Declan Rice. We saw Chelsea pay 116 million pounds for a player known as Moise Caicedo. You understand? So very many players have gone ahead to come in through for 100 million pounds. 2022, we saw Man City pay 100 million pounds for a player known as Jack Grealish. So when did you last hear a team in Spain pay 100 million pounds or 100 million euros for a player? Real Madrid are the ones that have gone ahead to be doing that on a regular. You know, they went ahead to sign a player known as Jude Bellingham for 130 million euros. Then, who else cost them 100? When you look at the sign-on fee and the amount of money that was included or involved into the Mbappe deal to come and join the side of Real Madrid, 150 million euros involved in there. Barcelona last went ahead to break the bank to sign a player of 100 million euros plus. Was it on Felipe Coutinho? I think they haven't gone ahead to do that again. So in the Bundesliga, it's only Bayern Munich that has gone ahead to obviously do the needful. You understand? And that needful has gone ahead to see to it that the side of Bayern have gone ahead to buy Harry Kane. I think the bought from like, was it 90 million euros from Spurs. So the Premier League has gone ahead to spend a lot of money, guys, and in the due course they've gone ahead to really dominate everything. So I don't think that that's going to be a very huge factor in the deal of Gyökeres. If it was, then Arsenal would have gone ahead obviously pay that much for Noni Madueke. Now, Oblejo Dennis, good morning, bro. We are always here. All right, thank you for watching through. Emma Oriokot, good morning, my brother. Good morning, Emma. Then Mokisa Daniel, good morning, bro. Good morning. Rosie Pambano, Arteta will transform Noni. Wait and see. All right, we wait and see. I think that Arteta will, because he has earned himself that authority of really transforming players. We've gone ahead to see Ben White, Gabriel Magalhaes, Lewis Kelly, Martin Odegaard, and very many others. Gabriel Martinelli, Leandro Trossard, and very many others being transformed into the players they are right now at Arsenal. And the man behind all that has been none other than Mikel Arteta. Now, Enzo Maresca, as he held a press conference for the game of football they're going to be playing on Sunday against a team known as PSG, he was asked on Noni Madueke, and he confirmed that he is going to join Arsenal. He said, if a player wants to leave, then in the end, it is difficult for the club and manager. And yes, Noni decided to leave. No one said to Noni he has to leave. It was his decision. If he is happy, we are happy. So, Noni Madueke decided that he wants to leave the club of Arsenal. Sorry, the club of Chelsea, to obviously go ahead and really play for the club of Arsenal. So, now you know that Chelsea didn't want the player here, but the player was pushing to obviously leave the side of Chelsea and join the side of Arsenal because of what Arteta had planned for him. And by the way, Noni Madueke is one of those players that Enzo Maresca loved. If you look at the players that he went ahead to give lots of minutes, Noni Madueke was one of those because he has attributes of a modern footballer. However good you are in your talent and technical abilities, if you can't really run, track, defend, your offensive play should be very important. High press, a workaholic player, you run and you almost step on every blade of grass on the playground that you're really playing at, then you don't really fit in the modern game of football. Because when you look at PSG, their biggest attribute to obviously outcompete others is that, they've gone ahead to put in a very huge show when it comes to running. They chase these people left, right, and center. So, for Noni Madueke, I think he's obviously going to be bringing that to Arsenal. The energy, you know, the way he obviously runs, you know, his physical attributes. And by the way, he's not a selfish player. I've gone ahead to see him really putting in cutbacks, crosses, you know, and squares for his number 9. And I tell you what, if Gyökeres better comes at Arsenal this season, he might break a record, you know. Remember when Erling Haaland came into the Premier League, he went ahead and scored 36 goals. He failed to break the record of, was it Alan Shearer or Andy Cole? One of those. So, I want to confirm to you that one, the side of Arsenal is really going to look good with Noni Madueke, and he's coming in through as an understudy for Bukayo Saka. I don't know why very many Arsenal fans are really furious at this guy, you know. Just let him be and see to it that he really goes in. So, the managers confirmed to us that it was a request of Noni Madueke to leave the club of Chelsea, and the club was like, you can go, because in your position, they really had plenty of options. One is Pedro Neto. Secondly, Gustavo is coming in through from Brazil, and we all know the abilities, and he went ahead to score against them. Richard Fenny says, hey Rokani, good morning bro, good morning Fenny. DJ Draw, I think people who undermine such a player are just meant to be like that. Madueke is a top player who even plays international football. I think he'll be a good addition for the attack. Yeah, he's a good addition to the attack. And yesterday when I was really doing this story over here we go of Noni Madueke, I came out to tell people that Noni Madueke is not a first choice player to come in through at Arsenal and command a starting position. He's going to be the understudy of Bukayo Saka, but the manager is doing it because he knows to it that Saka is one of the most important players of Arsenal, and Saka's going to hate to really suffer a lot, you know, at Arsenal by playing him unnecessary minutes, you know. So even there are those games that you believe Saka shouldn't start and should come off the bench, and maybe if at all Arsenal kills off the game, Saka shouldn't even be coming on, but Saka has gone ahead to play almost every game, and he doesn't get enough rest as a player. That's why the previous 2 seasons, injuries have gone ahead to catch up on him. And that's why Arsenal is like, let's let the lad rest by getting in Noni Madueke to obviously do some role for him. So that is it that you're really getting in through from DJ Draw, and thank you for obviously dropping in. And Draw again says, please update us if Arsenal can get Rodrigo and under which conditions. So Rodrigo to Arsenal is one of those deals that we have to really look at and really wait and see what will obviously be given, because the update that we've gone ahead to get from Real Madrid today indicates that Real Madrid have made it clear, and even Rodrigo knows it, that he's not in the plans of Alonso. Why? Even if a Club World Cup, he couldn't even get him off the bench. If you watch that game of PSG, you ideally noticed that Rodrigo was the only player they had. Rodrigo and Modric were the only 2 players they had that could obviously change the dynamics of the game in favor of Real Madrid. But Alonso stubbornly said, I'm not obviously going to be bringing you on. That meant that the side of Alonso had already gone ahead to make it clear to the lad that we don't need you. And the reason as to why Arsenal might not obviously get in Rodrigo is known that they don't want a player. They want a player, but Madrid sell the player expensively because they know how great he is. And the last I read was that for a team to sign Rodrigo, they need to cough 100 million euros. That is really so much, you know. It's really too much. So that's why Arsenal have gone ahead to go in for Ebelechi Eze, and they are still continuing to obviously hold talks to see to it that they really get that deal of Ebelechi Eze over the line. Then Roshi Pambano, I do second you, DJ. They're all right, thank you. And he says, yes, Saka has to rest. Yeah, if at all you want to see Saka perform at his best, he needs to be given minutes to rest. And don't think that Saka is a robot that is supposed to play every game. No way. Let no one lie to you. If you want to get the best from Saka, Saka shouldn't take part in the Carabao Cups, FA Cups. You understand? Let Madueke take the center stage at that level. And let Saka just wait in a little bit. Maybe come and play 10 minutes. His minutes have to be calculated. Even in the Premier League, if Arsenal plays and they're like 2 goals up, 60 minutes, get him off, get Noni Madueke. They have to balance the games or the game time of Saka. Like, if he plays 80 minutes on the weekend, in the midweek when Arsenal is playing the Champions League, they shouldn't go that far. You get? He should play like 60 and then the rest will be history. You understand? So, I believe that a lot will happen for Saka, and the coming from Noni Madueke is obviously gonna make the lad explode. I tell you, Saka is going to explode because he'll be knowing that I'm gonna be playing 70 minutes and I'll be off. But each and every time I have to play 90 minutes, there are some times that you reserve your energy, and Saka will be like, even if I get off, there is another player that can equally come in through and obviously be efficient and consistent, like how I'm gonna hate to be. For me, he's a very good addition to the club of Arsenal. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I believe he's a good addition. Now, let's go to a player known as Alvaro Carreras. Now, the here we go was sounded yesterday, but it had to be confirmed by Man United sending an email that they're not willing to obviously activate the buy-back clause in the deal. And now, we've gone ahead to obviously get in an update. We've gone ahead to get an update from Fabrizio Romano that Alvaro Carreras can be considered new Real Madrid player as he will travel to Madrid today. Medical booked, player now authorized to travel. Man United confirm that he won't activate buyback clause, so deal now sealed. 50 million euros in installments, and here we go, confirmed. So for this deal to obviously go the right way, United were only the stumbling block, and that stumbling block would have gone ahead to happen if at all United showed interest to sign the player. You understand? But Man United are like, we cannot really sign that player back, and we have let him really live in there. So that is it for the club of Man United and Real Madrid. Carreras is going to Real Madrid, but what does that mean? It means that Man United are okay with their left backs and left full backs in the names of Patrick Dogu, Diego Leon, and Harry Amaz. That is it. Real Madrid, get him in to be a starter, by the way, because you can't go to Real Madrid for 50 million euros and you don't be a starter. I know, is it Fran Garcia has been playing very well, but I think this guy comes in through to obviously take over that position. Alaba, don't think that he'll obviously outcompete this guy. And then the other guy is Benjamin, is it Mendy? Yeah. Mendy will obviously leave the side of Real Madrid. I don't know whether he's okay to play off the bench. I don't think that he's 100% okay with that. So Madrid have gone ahead to obviously bring another signing. Remember this season, they've gone ahead to bring in the following people into the mix. First and foremost, the side of where have we been? They first brought in Trent Alexander-Arnold, free agent from Liverpool. Hoysen from Bournemouth. They went ahead to bring in Alvaro Carreras. 3 signings so far. That is the side of Real Madrid for you, and they are promising to obviously break the bank and really get in more and 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 more into their squad, because Alonso has told the board that you need to reinforce. If you don't reinforce, nothing will obviously do the needful into there. So as it stands, the side of Real Madrid are looking to bring in more players, And amongst those, they are still looking at Konate Ibrahim to really strengthen their defense. That means we might obviously get in more outgoings from the side of Liverpool. Then Rose Pambano, do you really think Eze will come through? Yeah, unless otherwise Arsenal really pull out. But Eze coming to Arsenal, it is really one of those deals that the sporting director Andre Batha is working on. They've even gone ahead to take a further step to talk to the player and his entry. You remember, when a player has a release clause, you don't even need permission to talk to him from his club. All you need to do is to really agree personal terms and then talk to the club on how you're obviously going to be triggering the release clause of Ebelechi Eze. But this is really one of the biggest summers that Arsenal is going to hit to have, and I think in this summer they are going to outspend themselves, because the sum of Declan Rice, they spent really a lot of money, 105 million pounds for Declan Rice, 71 million pounds for Kai Havertz. That went to 176. They had to bring in a Julian Timber for like 40, That was like 200 million pounds that we have spent in that summer transfer window. But at the look of things, Arsenal looks like they're really going to be spending a lot of money, As we count, Zubimendi, 53 million pounds, Then, Noni Madueke, 52, that is 105. Add on the 5 for Kepa Zebalaga, 110. Then Nogard, it takes like 130 so far spent by the club of Arsenal in these signings, and those are 4 only. Yet the 3 that are really left are really going to be the most expensive signings. You understand? Because if Gyökeres comes in through at 70 million pounds, sorry, okay, let's say 68, let's say 70. That will take you to 200 million pounds. Ebelechi Eze, 68 million pounds. That will be 260 million pounds spent by the club of Arsenal. And remember, there is Mosquera, going in for like 20 million pounds. So it might be one of the huge spending summers for the club of Arsenal that are really called for. And I think Ebelechi Eze is one of those that will contribute to Arsenal really having gone ahead to really spend huge and big. Then Rosie says, and how true is Trossard deal to go to Fenerbahce? Sorry for the spelling. Fabrizio Romano told us that it's a hoax. There is no offer that has gone ahead to come in through from Fenerbahce to the club of Arsenal. That's what Fabrizio Romano went ahead, obviously, let us know about that beautiful deal of a player known as Trossard. Meaning that Leandro Trossard is still at Arsenal until when a team comes in through to make an official proposal. I haven't gone ahead to hear that. He has gone ahead, obviously, with personal terms. But the journalist that is really spreading around this story is really credible. If you've gone ahead to follow him up for some time, he's a credible journalist. And I tell you what, he's really one of those that you have to look through and really understand that, yep, he is really doing some good media rounds, and he's really right. So, thank you very much for watching through Emma, Daniel, Pambano, Richard Fenny, DJ Draw, Rosie Pambano. Thank you guys for watching through. And as I promised, I came in here and I will fulfill my promise. I've talked to you, and I think it will be nice to really talk to you later in the day. But some 2 hours from now, I'm going to be dropping another video, and stay tuned onto the video section. That's why I always tell you, if you've subscribed and you haven't gone ahead to turn on the notification bell, you're going to be missing out onto a lot that we are yet to serve you as our tea that you people will obviously enjoy to the fullest. Rokani David remains my name. Continue to subscribe. Your thoughts on Noni Madueke medical schedule at Arsenal really welcome in the comment section below. And again, Alvaro Carreras to Real Madrid. Do you think the numbers or the position of Benjamin Mendy, the other one is Fran Garcia, and the other one goes by the names of David Alaba? Are their positions safe? Because if you're having 3 players who can play in the left back, why could a team go all out and pay 50 million euros to bring in a player to play in a position that you can do better? That means a decision was already made. Guys, bye-bye for now. See you later, and thank you for being part of this late night live stream. Ciao, ciao. See you.